Alright, so I'm going to go over how to interact with any item or button by clicking on it in Unreal Engine. So for reference, this is what that looks like. I'm clicking on it and then it's opening. This works for Unreal Engine 4 or 5. Simply all of this is seeing where your mouse cursor is clicking and seeing if there's an object beneath that. So if there's a certain object under it that when clicked then this event occurs, that is all this is doing. So this will work in 2D, this will work in 3D, this will work in top-down view, it doesn't even matter. It's just seeing where is my mouse on the screen and then is there an object below the mouse that has this code attached to it. So basically, if you want to set this up, I'm going to go to my main character. You're going to do the same. For me, I have a first person character, but it could be anything. And you're going to go to event begin play. So see, I already have stuff hooked up here. If that ever happens to you, all you need to do is drag out of it and create a sequence, which is basically you could have multiple things happen. This could be one of those things, is whatever you have plugged into the begin play, because this is a pretty common element. And then out of that, this is the code that we're actually going to start. So you're going to want to do set game mode, game and UI. And then there's this player controller here. You're just going to want to drag out and get player controller. Then out of this, you're going to want to drag out and do set show mouse cursor, and you're going to want to set that to true. So all this is going to do is make it so we are allowed to interact with our mouse and the mouse cursor is being shown. That's all this is doing right now. So I'm going to save that. I could, I guess, even go in and show you. So I'm in a first person whatever, and I'm able to move my mouse around and click. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to do is open up whatever object you want to configure. So for me, I'm going to do this door, right? So I'm going to open up the door, and there's nothing in here right now. I'm going to create a custom event, and that's going to be the door opening. So it could be anything. This doesn't have to be a door. This could be a light switch. This could be picking up an item. This could be anything that you want to click, and then that is the interaction. For me, it's the door opening. So I'm going to drag out of that, add timeline. This is just to make the door open. So I'll name it like door opening timeline. And let's see how the door opens. So, okay, if I rotate it, this Z value is changing from 90 to 0. So that's going to be what I want my timeline to do. I want it to be a float because that's the same value as the rotation. I'll just do open. And I'm going to right click and add a float. So at 0 seconds, the rotation is going to be at 90. And then I'll do like 2 seconds, then the rotation will be at 0. So that's all that this timeline's doing. And then I'll change the length to match how long that timeline is. So you can even see right here, it's just opening the door, right? You could even have it closing the door if, like, eventually we get to that. So on update, I'm going to want to take this static mesh, which is the door, and I'm going to set the relative rotation. The only thing that we want to change is the Z value. So you're going to want to break this, or make rotator, that's what it says right here, into the pitch, the roll, and the yaw. So I'm going to drag out the open variable that I made into just the yaw. For these other two values, I'm just going to keep them how they are. So I'm going to actually get rotation and then break this just like I did with the other one, and then just connect to the X and the Y. The only one we didn't do. Then I'll plug this into update. So every time this timeline updates, like every millisecond, then it's going to change the Z value and it's going to open the door. That's all this code is doing. It's just opening the door. This could be anything you want. So we'll get back to the character, the main character, and we're going to want to drag out of whatever our click is. So for me, left mouse button is my input. You're going to want to right click and get player controller by this left mouse button, or whatever button you want to use. And out of this return value, you're going to want to do get hit results under cursor by channel. That's what it is. This is basically the entire code. This is checking if there's anything under the cursor. So this hit result, you're going to want to right click and split so that it has all of the options right here. And out of hit result hit actor, you want to do cast to, and then the name of whatever object you want to interact with. So for me, this is a door, right? So then I could just connect this into the press button. And if you want multiple objects you can click on, then you could just drag out of this and do a sequence like we did before. And then every object you just drag out, and then you do cast to whatever, and then connect it here. You could add pin for however many objects you have. So right now we have door, and then I'm gonna drag out of the door and do this custom event that we made right here, the door open. So I'll drag out of that, door open, and that's it. That's literally the whole code. So if we go in and I press play, right there I just clicked on it and the door opens. Here, let me go back in. So just like this, I walk up to it, I click on it, and it opens. It's not clicking anywhere else, it's just right on the door. So let's say we want to make this a little bit more complicated, or I want to use other objects. Like I wanted to pick up this key, and then the door would open. First, I'm going to go to the door, and I guess I'll do a branch to see, do I have a key? So I'll put key. And if I do have a key, then it could open the door. If not, it'll just do nothing. So now, let me try to click on the door. Nothing happens. Actually, let's go to our key. So I have an object here, and in it, there's nothing. It's literally just the key. So in this, I'm going to put in the same code that I did the other one. It's going to be grab key. And then with this, it's just going to destroy the actor, and I'll also cast to third person character, just my character, and that could be get player character right here, and out of it I'll make a new variable, and that variable will be did I pick the key up. So let's go to it, let's make a new variable, and let's do has key, and right now you can see that's set to false. But if I grab key, then I'm going to set has key to true, and then I will destroy the actor so that the actual key itself goes away. So now I'm holding the key, and this will check if I have it. Actually, instead of having this value that I made here, I'm instead going to cast the third person character just like I did with the other one, get player character, and then I'll check has key. So get has key, and then I'll plug that into the condition. There doesn't even need to be this variable here. So we're all using the variable in the main character. So that's all I'm doing here. And the last thing I have to do is actually hook up that I could click on the key too, so I could pick it up. So I'll cast to key. I'll plug that into my sequence of things that happen when I press the button. So this could also be like if you have shooting in the game, then you would also hook up this sequence so that you could do all of this as well as shoot or do whatever else you want with the mouse. So with the key, you want to do pick up key, or what is it? Grab key? Yeah, there we go. Now, let's try to test all this out. I can't open the door, but I could pick the key up, and then I could open the door. So that is literally everything. You could use this with anything. You could use this in Unreal Engine 5. Light switches, doors. You could do 3D main menus. It's anything. So that is all I want to go over. Thank you so much. I want to keep it quick. So let me know if I missed anything, or if there's another way to do it, or if this was helpful, and what other videos you want to see too. So thank you so much. Later. Peace. I don't really know how to end these. Alright, that's it.